Ladies and gentlemen, live from down in the Bear Cave Studios, it's a special edition of the Sports Frenzy Podcast, Sold Out, with your hosts, Freddie Aloso and Stevie G. Now, the Sold Out Podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are once again live down here in the Bear Cave Studios for another episode of the Sports Frenzy Podcast, Sold Out. With me, your host, Freddie Aloso, with my co-host, Stevie G.
What's up, guys? Let's go.
And tonight, we have a very special guest. And Stevie G, take it away.
Guys, we have wrestling legend on the line with us, Barry Horowitz. You guys will remember him from the WWF, WCW. He's been all over the place in the wrestling business, and he was kind enough to jump on here with us tonight. Barry, how are you doing? Thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate you jumping on, and we're ready to jump right into it. So, Barry, tell us, your early career, how did you get started, as far as, training-wise, or what drew your interest into the wrestling business?
First of all, I want to say real quick, I like the name of your show, Sold Out. It sounds like some of the shows I've been on in Madison Square Garden. Sold Out.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I got started back at a young age in Florida. Basically, I saw, a pro wrestling match on TV, and I got hooked. I mean, some kids, they do, and then it's a pipe dream. It disappears in a year or two, but this stayed permanent. So I just pursued my dream and went on and conquered almost every obstacle. I'm still conquering obstacles, or proving myself in this business. It's ridiculous, but, that's the wrestling business. Take it or leave it.
Now, when did you start out? Was it early 80s or?
Yeah, I actually, to go right, to the thick of things, it was hard to get into pro wrestling in Tampa, which is a hotbed, Tampa, Florida. That was home of many greats: Jack Briscoe, Mike Graham, Bob Orton Jr., Don Morocco, the Samoans, Pat Patterson. I mean, there's everybody. Anybody, Mr. Saito, anybody who's been anybody in pro wrestling has been through Florida. And the mastermind was Mike Graham and Eddie Graham. They were fantastic people. And rest in peace, both of them. It's a shame.
Yeah.
I met a friend of a businessman. I want to give a shout out to Lenny Greenberg.
Okay.
He's passed, but he owns a auto salvage yard, and you think, oh, what, a salvage yard, but it's acres and acres and worth millions, and he's had it for, oh my God, over 30 years, and he's got big connections, and he introduced me, got me an interview with the great Professor Boris Malenko.
Nice.
So I got an interview set up, and I passed everything and just started training with him and his sons and Karl Gotch and Karl von Stronheim and other various guests that came into the gym. And we would train 3-4 nights a week, about 3 hours a pop, about 104 degrees on that mattress factory.
Really?
And about 40 degrees in the wintertime. And we started in a judo school just for about 6 months, and that was basically just a big gym room with nothing in it but 1-inch mats, taking bumps, backdrops, shooting suplexes. It'll toughen your ass up quick. Then we moved to the mattress factory, which was just a big empty factory that was hot, like I said, hot and cold, and had 2 rings in it, and learned a lot there. I stayed there for about a year and a half with Malenko.
Wow.
And then, it was time for me to leave and progress, and he gave me a list of different, territories to go to, and I don't know what made me pick, but I just got in the car and drove to the Northeast, and wound up in South Jersey, called up Gorilla Monsoon at his house, asked him, he invited me down for TV, which at the time was done every 3 weeks in Allentown, PA, and Hamburg, PA, TV tapings.
A lot of it was pre-recorded back then, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
all pre-recorded. let's put it this way. In 3 days, I'd probably wrestled 6-7 times, and that would go on. That would last them for about a month. So we taped every 3 weeks.
Okay.
At the same buildings. You did promos and interviews like in the early afternoon, and then the show would start at 7 and probably go to 11 or midnight. And I mean, I met just about everybody. Bob Backlund, Blackjack Mulligan, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Rick Martel, Tony Gurria, Saito Fuji, my God, whoever else was coming in, Buddy Rose, Mike Sharp, like I said, Bob Orton Jr., my God, I'm trying to remember, Tony Atlas, just trying to remember everybody. And at the time, how about this one? The Polish Prince, a.k.a. Colonel De Beers.
Yep.
How about that?
That's cool. Random question, though, as you bring this up. I don't know if I told you, we're up in the Northeast ourselves. We're in New York. Did you, back then, were you already wrestling in the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, New York?
Oh, yeah, I've wrestled there a bunch of times. That was, I've wrestled there for Raw. I've wrestled there for house shows. I liked going to Poughkeepsie. It's pretty cool. Good little venue.
Yeah, we're about 30 minutes.
Drive. What's that?
We're about 30 minutes from there.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I've wrestled that whole Northeast. Utica, Ithaca, Poughkeepsie, Jamestown, my God, Syracuse, Rochester, Albany. You name it. All the big towns, all the small towns.
That's awesome.
Been there, done that.
So now, working with, when you spoke with Gorilla Monsoon and you're seeing all these wrestlers, where did it get you breaking into WWF? Like, how do we lead up to that?
Well, what happened was I was working for Vince Sr., and basically just, getting guys over strong, people like Don Morocco and Angelo Mosca Sr., and just doing that. And then I started getting booked on some house shows, and then finally, after about a year, I told Vince Sr., I said to him, this is my career. I just don't want to do TV, so I need to travel and get polished. And I was supposed to go to Portland, Oregon. Jimmy Snuka was there, but the territory was filled, so I think this was a blessing in disguise going for Crockett Promotions, Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. And, Ric Flair was there, Bob Orton Jr. was there, Sandy, what am I thinking? He was a great promoter, and I just escapes me his name. Gene Anderson, Johnny Weaver, Roddy Piper, Mark Youngblood, Jay Youngblood. Wow. And Mike Rotunda. I used to travel with Mike Rotunda, Ricky Steamboat, Jay Youngblood. And you just learn a lot by listening, keeping your mouth shut, and, watching film and training. I trained a lot, a couple times outside in a ring in Charlotte Stadium with Jake the Snake Roberts. He's a big shot there, too. And I stayed there about 2 years. I was wrestling, oh my God, 5-6 nights a week, traveling with Sonny Fargo, Rufus R. Jones, Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man Valiant. Mostly traveled with those guys. And, you get there. I was first or second match, stay to the end, watch every match. So that was it, man. I mean, eating, drinking, sleeping 24/7.
And
I was that way before that when I was training too. I mean, it was all about part-time job and training. That's it. That was my life. None of this, not going out, not partying. Just And all about 24/7 getting this career going properly.
Yeah. But you mentioned going to the show, whether you're the first or second match, you stayed till the end. Now, that's a huge respect thing in the wrestling business that all the wrestlers, technically, they should be doing, especially every show, basically, correct?
Well, they should be doing that, and everybody should be broken in Japan.
Okay.
Then you'll learn to appreciate the business. You won't be a prima donna, and you'll have a greater respect for the business, and you'll become a better worker. I mean, I don't know of too many Japanese wrestlers that can't work, or you say, oh, they're not that good. I can't think of any. They're superstars.
Now, one of the matches that stuck out to me was when you face Ken Shamrock. You want to tell me a little about that match?
Okay, that was basically That was probably 89, Greensboro Coliseum. It was a tryout match for Ken.
Okay.
That's what that was going on. He came to the show. Blackjack Lanza was in charge. He was the road agent, and they just said, "Let's see what this kid could do. What could Ken Shamrock do? Bump him around, have a good, have a wrestling match with him."
Mm-hmm.
And his name wasn't Ken Shamrock when we got in the ring. It was like Vince Tortello or something.
Okay.
It wasn't Ken Shamrock. And then he got a tryout, and that's the last time I seen him until they brought him back. I guess he decided to switch gears and go to UFC. Then they brought him back, Intercontinental Champion. He left, went back to UFC, and now he's retired. I mean, he's a hell of an athlete. 2 sports. He did all right in pro wrestling, but he's great in MMA. He's a legendary fighter. I mean, Hoist Gracie, and he was there in the tough years of when there was basically no rules. And his brother too, Frank Shamrock, is no slouch either. So, I have high regard for both of them. I have high regard for the MMA community. I think they're the hardest training athletes in the world, beyond pro wrestling, beyond pro football. Think about it. You have got to learn grappling, wrestling, mixed martial arts. Your wrestling pedigree has to be outstanding. Your boxing has to be outstanding. Your takedowns. I mean, that's a lot to consume and conquer each technique to its fullest. And then be training in the gym, too, and then be training for a fight. It's brutal.
I mean, you mentioned that, so I assume you do watch a lot of the mixed martial arts, UFC, correct?
Yeah, I like UFC a lot.
Now,
yeah, I do.
What's your opinion on some of these wrestlers? I'm just going to bring it to current day real quick, and then we'll go back.
Sure.
But some of these wrestlers like Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, leaving the wrestling business, even Jack Swagger now, leaving the wrestling business and going to the MMA style fighting, going to UFC. What's your opinion on that?
I mean, that's totally up to them. My opinion, for me, basically, I don't know. Maybe I would want to start with UFC and then go to, like Ronda Rousey did, then go to WWF. Get your prime years in the shoot fighting. See what I mean? Now, Brock's he's an exception. First of all, he's a great amateur wrestler, NCAA champion numerous times. But he did it pretty cool. He went back and forth, so I got to respect that. And he's made a lot of money. I mean, he's the only one that did it back and forth. Now, there's some guys that have did it, but it's trivial. Brock has made an impact. He's the WWE champion, and he was the UFC heavyweight champion. And, he pulverized people. Yep. So, in fact, I think he's going back again, I was told, to maybe go against Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, I know there's some things going on with that I don't know if it's going to happen. Like, there's things in the works, but it's like they go back and forth with it. It'd be a fight I would love to see. But I don't know if we will. There's sometimes they, blow up these and set up these fights, and it just never happened.
Yeah. As far as the other people you mentioned, CM Punk, Bobby Lashley and stuff, I don't know these gentlemen at all. I don't think, now this is just my opinion, this is me as a person, as an athlete, as a businessman.
Okay.
I'm not leaving Vince. He's the biggest in the world. He's a multi-billionaire. He's not a millionaire like he was when I worked for him. He's a billionaire. He knows what to do with pro wrestling. It's quite obvious. He's made chicken shit into chicken salad. He's phenomenal. He knows what he's doing. He knows this business. He drinks and sleeps it. He's almost the Bill Belichick of professional wrestling.
No, I agree with you. I do think he's great. Barry, the only thing I question, the current product. I don't know what's going on because it's not as entertaining to me. I feel like he took on a lot.
You got to educate your audience. It's changed. He'll still rise to the top. I mean, never say never in the wrestling business, but he's still number one. The ratings are decent. The show is phenomenal. I mean, if you watch that show and watch any kind of other wrestling show, it's apples and oranges. It's night and day. I mean, it's like watching the Super Bowl and then watching the Arena Bowl. I mean, see what I'm saying? Big difference.
Yeah. Did you get a chance, though, to check out any of the All Elite Wrestling shows yet? The AEW?
No, I haven't, but I will stand on record and say right now, and I've said it on almost every interview, because I'm seeking employment with the WWE as far as training people the way I was trained.
Oh, cool.
I think I was seeking them, Jacksonville, and also Impact Wrestling. So if anybody's listening that works for those companies, you guys know me. If anybody says, well, I don't know you, Barry, I need to see some clips, well, you're full of it. And I'm not putting myself over, but I've been around. I've got, my resume speaks for itself.
Yep.
My personality, my background. And if I have to prove myself to you, it's not worth it. Why do I have to? I mean, it's, I didn't know you could work. I didn't know you could interview. Oh, come on, folks. Get a clue. Come
Bro,
on, man.
you're a legend in the business. I really think that you are Hall of Fame worthy. I think WWE should be putting you in my honest opinion.
I hear that all the time, and I give the same answer, and they go, why? And I go, why don't you ask Vince?
Yeah.
Well, I did know. I don't know if you guys noticed, and I hope, I got to put a shout-out to my fans that support me at these meet and greets that I go to, and I go to them all over the place. I was one in Florida, but mostly the Northeast is huge. Philly, Jersey, Rhode Island, New York. I mean, they're hardcore up there, and they're very respectful, my fans, and so is Canadian fans. And I got a phone call last week that I'm being inducted to the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame next year.
Awesome. Congrats, man.
That's great. Thank you. It's all over Facebook. That's the only place they're advertising it, so if you guys want to check it out, or my fans, it was dropped last Thursday. It's a pretty cool little picture, and it tells you what's going on and who else is inducted. But I'm the first ballot, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool honor, and there's only 3 that are legit. I mean, the first one was in New York or New Amsterdam. They moved it to Texas. The second would be WWE, and the third would be the New England Hall of Fame. So it's kind of an honor. In front of your peers and respect and whatnot. And, never say never, because who knows? You never know if I could get inducted to WWE, because believe me, in 95, as hard as I work, I never thought I would get that push I did with Chris Candido.
Yup. Speaking of that was something I was
never
going
to
bring
never,
up.
And never give up. Don't go, well, I'm just going to leave and go somewhere else. And, well, you do that, and you may lose a spot, you may lose a lot of money, and all these guys, unless you got some money and you think greener pastures are elsewhere, where? Like other indies or Japan? I mean, they may be all right, but they're not Vince McMahon money, not in my opinion.
Now, you just mentioned Chris Candido. That was something I did want to bring up. Do you want to tell us that story, how that all came to be, that push working with Chris? Could you tell us your version of how that all went?
I think what happened was, we had a few house matches, and it got reported back from the agents and told Pat Patterson and maybe Vince, hey, we need to experiment with this. This is pretty cool. And that's what I think what happened, and it worked. I wish it lasts longer, but I'm not going to be greedy. I'm grateful for my time and so forth, but I think I could have been there another year or two, and like other guys, you could have changed me up or put people over or got another program with somebody else, but that's neither here or there. I'm grateful for the push, and it went farther than it was supposed to be. I mean, I was captain of my team at Survivor Series. I was in Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, In Your House matches, WrestleMania. I mean, I was, it went really well, and besides that, being in the main event at Survivor Series as the Red Knight in the Boston Gardens was phenomenal against the Hart family.
Yep. Now, real quick, you mentioned 2 matches, the Royal Rumble and Survivor Series. Those are 2 matches I love to watch every year. How was it working those 2 types of matches?
Oh, well, business as usual, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, just, business as usual, Up the intensity, you're always, I believe in, my thought process is 10 people, 10,000, you work the same. I mean, it will jar you up when you're in Madison Square Garden, it's sold out, or the Philadelphia Spectrum, or...
I can imagine.
Anywhere, the Omni in Atlanta, that's not no more, but any of these buildings, most of them, hey, You go overseas for WWF, when you go to London, England, Germany, when I was in Austria for Otto Wantz, I mean, you're seeing what you see like at these concerts for rock and roll or country music. I mean, a slew of millions of people. I mean, it's, thousands, excuse me. But, yeah, it's overwhelming and it's cool, but it makes my job even easier as a heel when they're like that and, booing me or chanting me. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Now, if I could ask, you've wrestled so many guys over the years, and we're going to talk WWF or WCW, whatever you want to bring up, but who are some of your favorite opponents, most memorable matches that you personally remember and love that you had?
Okay. First and foremost, Owen Hart, Chris Candido, Reno Riggins, The Patriot, Del Wilkes, Lenny Lane from WCW, Brady Boone, Tim Horner, all the Armstrong brothers, especially Scott and Brad. Wow. I'm just trying to think of others. I hit, and then there was highlights of people I loved working with, like Don Morocco, Bob Orton Jr., Barry Orton. He was awesome too. Wow. There's just, I'm just trying to think of, I liked working with Tugboat. He was, for a big man, awesome. So was One Man Gang. So was Earthquake. So let's not leave out Crush, Bryan Adams.
Oh, absolutely not.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
And Undertaker, great big man worker. I'm just trying to think of everybody else. I probably hit Ronnie Garvin. Oh, yeah. Pez Watley. Yeah.
You've
I'm trying to think.
It's just so
Tito
amazing.
Santana, Rick Martel, Tony Gurria.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just like, it's really cool to talk to you, Barry, because you've wrestled so many of the wrestlers, and I watched you growing up as a kid. Like, it's really cool to be able to talk to you about this and, be able to discuss some of these guys that stuck out for you. So I do appreciate being able to do this.
Oh, sure. It's my pleasure.
Now, after wrestling, like, what is it? What have you been up to as far as after wrestling? Like right after you kind of got off the
right
scene?
now, like I said, I'm seeking my passion, and I love teaching. I love doing teaching. I like talking about wrestling, the business. Different things besides getting in that ring and training is about professional wrestling. The way you carry yourself as an individual or amongst the boys, the wrestlers, amongst fans. When you're traveling on airplanes, hotels. I like doing that, motivational speaking. I like teaching the technical aspect. I love amateur wrestling. I like personal training, teaching people how to train with wrestling or weights or what have you. And I'm a certified nutritionist, went to school at FSU for nutrition. So I dabbled with that for about 12 years. And so now I'm back to that, and I've been on the meet and greet scene pretty heavy in the Northeast, Florida. I'm going to South Bend next month for their last show. Brian Costello's a promoter out there in South Bend. And it's funny, back in the day, I was on his first two shows, and now I'm on his last, his ending show. It's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. Brian used to wrestle for WWF back in the day. And he's in charge of promoting South Bend, Indiana. It's funny, I wrestled Steve Regal, the original Steve Regal, which he was the AWA Junior Heavyweight Champion back in the day for Vern Gagne.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I wrestled him, and that was cool. So,
now, when's that show coming up?
That's basically what I'm doing. I stay busy, though. I train 6 days a week myself, personally. So I'm busy always.
And you mentioned that show that's coming up. When is that show, in case our fans would want to attend?
Oh, yeah, that's July 27th.
Okay.
And,
cool.
It's going to be a goodie. Paul Roma's on it, Mario Mancini, Bob Orton Jr. I don't know the whole rest of the card, but I'm sure you could go online and check that out.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Now, you say that you have a lot of these conventions going on in the Northeast. Is there anything coming up? Because, Barry, I'm not going to lie, not even from your page, but I'm on like a lot of those groups on Facebook that only talk wrestling, Marks for Life, Pro Wrestling United, and I see people's pictures popping up from conventions, and you are popping up in a lot of them. So I know you've been up here and stuff. So do you have anything coming up?
Not at this time. Like, I just finished up in, I was in Jersey a couple of weeks ago. Nothing's coming up. I think the big event is coming up in November. That's a big show. I'm hoping to be there. I will be working for one of the guys in the Northeast, WrestleMania in Tampa. I'll be there that week, the WrestleMania pre-shows. And who knows? There's a lot of stuff. I've got stuff like in Kansas City and Alabama and stuff that are tentative shows coming up, meet and greets. And stuff like that. I was just, like I said, in Lutz, Florida, which is about an hour from where I live. That was pretty cool. That was Championship Wrestling from Florida, Legends Convention. Scott Casey was there. Bob Roop was there. Bob Orton Jr. was there. Various referees were there and promoters. Larry Zbyszko was there. It's pretty cool. Some of the Florida crew was there. Myself was there and signing, and that was really a cool day. It was the promoter is, and I know he's your way. His name is Nick. I forgot his last name, but he is a big-time promoter in the Northeast. Okay. And I'm trying to think. I can't think. There's two Nicks up there that actually promote, and they're mostly I think out of Long Island or. Just, I know in the Northeast, up that way. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. They have podcasts, and there's a lot of different people involved up there. So, it's pretty cool.
Now, when you do these conventions, I know you said that it's great to see the fans and talk with them and meet them, sign the autographs. How is it with the wrestlers, though? You get to reminisce with all these guys that you were in the business with, traveled the roads with. How is it meeting with them? Do you guys get a chance to go out after and stuff?
Well, here's how it goes. When you get there, it's almost hurry up and rush. Like, you'll get there and start signing immediately. Okay. Now, I don't know about other guys, but my job is to stay at that table and sign for the fans. You don't want to drift off, and then the fans, they're not going to say nothing, but they're just standing there with their pen in their hand, and you're not there because you're talking to a wrestler. That's not professional. You know, you have a customer to take care of and a fan, and I don't move. If other guys come near me, I say hello to them and stuff, but my fans come first. And if there's time afterwards, fine. But there's times I've went to conventions and they go, Jake was there. I go, what? I didn't see him. Because we're moving so fast, or on the other side, there's so many people. And then when it's time to go, they're either headed towards dinner or on an airplane. So you don't have time to do what you think you have time to do. And then, on a side note, some of those people I don't even want to see.
Gotcha.
They got permanent heat with me.
All right.
They know who they are.
Some people just don't know how to let things go.
Yeah, exactly. Or time to grow up, guys.
Exactly. All right. Now, before we go, sometimes what we'll do is we'll just ask some random questions so people can get to know some personal things about you. So I'm just going to ask a couple. First one, you can name more than one, Barry. Favorite movies? Something that, like, if it comes on TV, you're like, oh my God, I'm just going to watch it from where it is.
Sure. Tombstone, nice. Expendables 1, 2, and 3. A Few Good Men.
Awesome.
The Great Outdoors.
Oh my God, John Candy, right?
Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. Yep. Get Carter. Crazy Heart. Jeff Bridges, country music. Yep. There's much more, I'm sure, but I think I hit some heavy. The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke.
Awesome movie, so great.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Also, I'm a fan of the original movie called The Wrestler back in the day.
Okay.
That was cool. That was with Vern Gagne. He was like the main event against Billy Robinson, and that thing was cool. I mean,
when did that come out? I haven't seen that.
When you watch it now, it seems cheesy, but back in the day when you're watching in the theater in Florida, when I was about who knows, 15 or 16, you're overwhelmed, like you're going, whoa, you know? So, and that may be even a hard copy to get. Probably have to watch it on YouTube or what have you.
Yeah. Everything's on YouTube.
Yeah. You know what's another great documentary is Bigger, Stronger, Faster, basically the Mike Bell story.
Okay.
Yeah, his brother Chris Bell did it. I think he did a great job because I was watching it, and when they were showing the gym in Santa Monica and the parking lot, I've been there, done that. I've trained there when we'd go there and wrestle in L.A., and I trained at the famous Gold's Gym in Venice, and it's pretty interesting, and Chris did a great job. I never met him, but I knew Mike Bell very well because they would always use him in enhancement matches in Poughkeepsie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got to know him, and he's a good kid. It's a shame how he passed, but the Bells are good. I don't know them all, but I still have high regard for him. Mike Bell was a super guy.
Now, you mentioned documentaries. I'm just curious. On the channel Viceland, have you checked out this show, Dark Side of the Ring, yet?
Yes. It's pretty interesting. Some of that I knew, some of it I didn't know.
Yeah.
So it's so most of it is pretty factual. I knew about the whole Bret Hart thing. I knew that. I've seen Beyond the Shadows. I know that whole scenario. The Gino Hernandez one, that was interesting. I remember when he was, he's a superstar back in the day.
Yep.
The Fabulous Moolah one was pretty cool. That was interesting. I've met almost all of those girls. Almost all of those girls back in the day, Vince would have them on a show like for an odd match, like have a woman's match or a woman's tag. And I think I met every midget in the business, too.
Gotcha. So, Fabulous Moolah, that's the only one I haven't seen. I have to watch that one.
Yeah, check it out. It's pretty cool.
But yeah, Tony, you mentioned Tony Atlas earlier. I know he's been on a couple of those. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Tony Atlas is a good guy, yeah.
So,
really nice guy, friendly guy.
So, next one, TV show. What's a TV show that you'll binge watch or you have to watch every week kind of deal?
Oh, okay. America's Got Talent.
Nice. They've had a lot of great acts this season.
The Voice, American Idol.
Yep.
The Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Okay. You're into a lot of the reality scene,
The Housewives of the OC.
Yep.
I love Young Sheldon.
Mm-hmm.
Mom. Let's see, what else? Of course, my CMT, my country music television, and interviews in the Hot Country Countdown every week. I'm sure there's other shows I just, off the top of my head, can't think of. I think I named my main ones that I like. I like New Amsterdam also.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a pretty cool show.
Now, how about music? Either favorite musicians or songs or music that you work out to?
Sure. When it comes to music I work out to, it's all about Motley Crue, Van Halen, Cinderella, AC/DC, Quiet Riot, Bon Jovi,
We get some
Asia. Wow. All of those 80s and 90s, John Waite, I love that. Now, when it comes to just chilling, it's all about the country music. All of it. By the way, Barry Horowitz was in a #1 country music video in '95, the video of the year on CMT by Joe Diffie, Pickup Man.
Gotcha.
So you could see me in there about 4 times. I'm the guy in the black tank top with the Billy Ray Cyrus mullet that I had before Billy Ray did.
Nice. Now, you mentioned country. I'll just say, I've recently got into country in the last couple months. So who are some of the guys that you listen to that I could listen to? Because I have my select few, but I'm really getting into it.
Well, I listen to almost everybody, but my favorites, Blake Shelton, Kenny Chesney, Alan Jackson, Alabama, Rascal Flatts, Tanya Tucker, almost all the girls in country music. They're all good. Everybody's good in country music. I mean, Carrie Underwood, Kelly Pickler, they're all good. But what I heard tonight, I'm dropping this on live radio. After 13 years of being absent, the Dixie Chicks have a new album coming out very soon.
Really?
Yes, sir. That's a fact.
That's cool.
You heard it first.
So, one more question before we wrap. When,
Sure.
we know you're into wrestling. You told us what you're doing now. Sports. Aside from wrestling, what sports are you into, and what are some of your teams?
Okay, that's easy. Basically, so we won't count UFC or anything like that. So we're just, I do like the Olympics, the Summer and Winter Olympics. But I love NFL, and my team is the Patriots.
Gotcha. All right.
They're the best. The best quarterback, the best coach. I do like the Packers. I will like my Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they get rid of Jameis Winston and put a real quarterback in there. I love Peyton Manning. I love the Colts. I like the Raiders because John Gruden's the coach of the year. I like the Jaguars. I like a good now. I'm getting on this Browns bandwagon because I think they're going to make the playoffs, and the Raiders will too. And of course, the Patriots will win their 7th ring this year.
Oh,
mark my words when I talk to you again. I go, I told you. Didn't I tell you a few months ago that they're in the playoffs and they're going to win? Brady's going to have 7 rings and possibly not retire.
Yeah, I mean, Barry, I'll be honest, even though we're friends and everything, I'm a Giants fan, so I'm not a big Patriots fan, but
right.
I got to agree with you
I do like Eli Manning.
What happened?
And I do like Tom Coughlin.
Yep.
So.
But Giants still got a lot of work to do. They really do.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So
there are a lot of teams got a lot of work to do, but except the Patriots, they know how to do a lot of work always, 24/7. The mad scientist, Bill Belichick.
All right. Well, before we go, Barry, we usually give you a chance now to shout out. How can people follow you on social media? If you want to give them all the avenues of how they can follow what Barry Horowitz is doing.
Just follow my Facebook. There's posts there. There's pictures there. You can get tagged in there. Also go to barryhorowitz.com, wwe.com, mrtechnical.info. Search engine, just put in Barry Horowitz in anything on YouTube and something will pop up and gives you my Wikipedia. I mean, anything you want to know about me in depth is probably on social media.
All right.
From back in the day, Stretcher Jack Hart in Florida Championship Wrestling when he was the Florida champ to when I was the European champ in Austria when I defeated Franz Schumann and shocked the friggin' world, I think. Mm-hmm. I think when I won that match with a submission of the Octopus, I didn't hear a pin drop in that audience. You would think I slapped Jesus in the face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's everything, and everybody could do that. And if anybody else is listening to promoters, I'm very serious about this training, and you guys know who I am, and you can give me a tryout. Go for it, because I'll pass that tryout. I'm not even worried about it, because I won't mention names, but I know some of the people that are training in these various organizations, and some of them don't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch. So I'm not saying all of them, but you're there and I'm at home. Nah, I don't think that makes sense, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So, and another thing, guys, there is a lot of great wrestlers out there, but Barry Horowitz wrestles great.
Facts. Yep. Barry.
Just saying.
Barry, as we discussed earlier, we definitely are going to want to have you on again, and we could do this over again and speak so much more. We thank you so much for giving us a chance. Thank you for coming on the show with us.
Sure. I love being on sold out shows. They're all sold out.
Absolutely. All right, Barry. Well, we will catch up with you soon. And again, thank you for coming on, bro.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time, and I love being here. And to all my fans, shouting out, thanks and hello, and keep on supporting and coming out. And that's about it.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming on. Sports Frenzy Podcast, Sold Out Universe. Check out Barry Horowitz, Facebook. He dropped the websites, YouTube. You can find him all over the place. So check this guy out. You know he's coming up to the Northeast some point soon because he's doing all these conventions and he's still doing shows. So check him out, guys. Thank you again, Barry, for coming on. We appreciate it. You have a great night.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Peace. Bye now.